Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Pariprajakacharya Stotra Satasri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Iskcon founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Pariprajakacharya Stotra Satasri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadvipdam ki jai, Jamunamai ki jai, Gangamai ki jai, Tulsi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Samveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So we shall read from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 18. The residents of Jambudvip offer prayers. And before I come to the verses that I will read in full, text 8 and 9, I'll just give a little background by reading text 7. Just the translation. Shukadev Goswami continued, My dear king, Lord Nrsimhadev resides in the tract of land known as Harivarsha. In the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, I shall describe to you how Prahlad Maharaj caused the Lord to assume the form of Nrsimhadev. Prahlad Maharaj, the topmost devotee of the Lord, is a reservoir of all good qualities of great personalities. His character and activities have delivered all the fallen members of his demoniac family. Lord Nrsimhadev is very dear to this exalted personality. Thus Prahlad Maharaj, along with his servants and all the denizens of Harivarsha, worship Lord Nrsimhadev by chanting the following mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Text 8. Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya Namaste Tejasir Avirbhava Vajranaka Vajradamstra Karma Shayam Randaya Tamagrasa Grasa Om Swaha Abhayam Atmani Bhishita Om Sharum. Translation. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Nrsimhadev, the source of all power. O my Lord, who possesses nails and teeth just like thunderbolts, kindly vanquish our demon-like desires for fruitive activity in this material world. Please appear in our hearts and drive away our ignorance, so that by your mercy we may become fearless in the struggle for existence in this material world. Please repeat. I offer my... Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In Srimad Bhagavatam 4:22-39, Sanat Kumar speaks the following words to Maharaj Prithu. Yat pada pankaja palasa vilasa bhaktya karma shayam grahitamugradayanti santa tadvanna rikta matayo yatayo pirudha shoto ganastamaranam devasudevam. Quote, devotees always engaged in the service of the toes of the Lord's lotus feet can very easily become free from hard-knotted desires for fruitive activities. Because this is very difficult, the non-devotees, the jnanis and yogis, cannot stop the waves of sense gratification, although they try to do so. Therefore, you are advised to engage in the devotional service of Krishna, the son of Vasudeva. End quote. So, Srila Prabhupada has written a beautiful purport to this verse, and in it he mentions that the waves that desire are just like waves that cannot be stopped. But the waves flow into the ocean. The waves of a river flow into the ocean. And sometimes during high tide, the waves from the ocean overflood the waves from the river. And Srila Prabhupada explains that in the same way the devotee makes so many plans for the service of Krishna, that those desires to serve Krishna overflood and overwhelm the desires for sense gratification. Every living being within this material world has a strong desire to enjoy matter to the fullest satisfaction. For this purpose, the conditioned soul must accept one body after another, and thus his strongly fixed fruitive desires continue. One cannot stop the repetition of birth and death without becoming completely desireless. Therefore, Srila Rupa Goswami describes pure bhakti, devotional service, as follows. Anyabhilasita shunyam jnana karmadhyanavritam anukulyena krishnanushilaram bhaktiruttama. One should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably and without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. This is called pure devotional service. Unless one is completely freed from all material desires, which are called by the dense darkness of ignorance, one cannot fully engage in the devotional service of the Lord. Now, commenting on this verse from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is the Paribhasa Sutra of that work, which means that it's the verse that governs all the other verses in the work. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur discusses the suffix ita, anyavilasita sunyam. Just anyavilas sunyam would mean without any other desire. But the suffix ita indicates that under ordinary circumstances, the devotee has no other desire. He will not pray for anything material. But under extraordinary circumstances, he might. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives the example that although a devotee generally wouldn't pray for anything for his material body, but if he's in a precarious situation, for example, someone has come to attack him with deadly weapons, he may pray for protection. And that suffix ita, anyavilasita sunyam, means that under those extraordinary circumstances, praying for protection is not a violation of the principle of pure devotional service. And sometimes when asked about such a situation, Srila Prabhupada would respond differently. During the war between India and Pakistan in 1971, a reporter asked Srila Prabhupada, what would happen if Yahya Khan attacked, and you were going to die? And Srila Prabhupada replied, well, I would think that Krishna has come in the form of death. But another time, a reporter asked Srila Prabhupada about being attacked, if he would protest. And Srila Prabhupada said, yes. Why should I let some rascal harm Krishna's devotee? So, both sides. So unless one is completely freed of all material desires, which are caused by the dense darkness of ignorance, one cannot fully engage in the devotional service of the Lord. Therefore, we should always offer our prayers to Lord Nrsimhadev, who killed Hiranyakashipu, the personification of material desires. Hiranya means gold, and Kashipu means a soft cushion or bed. Materialistic persons always desire to make the body comfortable, and for this they require huge amounts of gold. Thus, Hiranyakashipu was the perfect representative of materialistic life. He was therefore the cause of great disturbance to the topmost devotee, Prahlad Maharaj, until Lord Nrsimhadev killed him. Any devotee aspiring to be free of material desires, my dear devotees, do you aspire to be free from material desires? Yes. Any devotee aspiring to be free from material desires should offer his respectful prayers to Nrsimhadev, as Prahlad Maharaj did in this verse. So now that we know that that's our assignment, we'll go on to the next verse, text 9, which is a wonderful verse and with a beautiful purport. Swastasu vishvasya kala prasidatam dhyayantu bhutani shivam mitodya manascha bhadram bhajatadadoksaje aveshyatam no matirapyaituki. Translation. May there be good fortune throughout the universe, and may all envious persons be pacified. May all living entities become calm by practicing bhakti yoga. For by accepting devotional service, They will think of each other's welfare. Therefore, let us engage in the service of the Supreme Transcendence, Lord Sri Krishna, and always remain absorbed in thoughts of him. Please repeat part by part. May there be good fortune throughout the universe.
May there be good fortune throughout the universe.
And may all envious persons be pacified.
And may all envious persons be pacified.
May all living entities become calm.
May all living entities become calm.
By practicing bhakti yoga.
By practicing bhakti yoga.
For by accepting devotional service, they will think of each other's welfare. Therefore, let us all engage in the service of the Supreme Transcendence, Lord Sri Krishna, and always remain absorbed in thought of him. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The following verse describes a Vaishnav. Vanchakalpa trubhyascha kripa sindhubhye cha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Just like a desire tree, a Vaishnav can fulfill all the desires of anyone who takes shelter of his lotus feet. Prahlad Maharaj is a typical Vaishnav. He prays not for himself, but for all living entities, the gentle, the envious, and the mischievous. He always thought of the welfare of mischievous persons like his father, Hiranyakashipu. Prahlad Maharaj did not ask for anything for himself. Rather, he prayed for the Lord to excuse his demoniac father. This is the attitude of a Vaishnav who always thinks of the welfare of the entire universe. Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Dharma are meant for persons who are completely free from envy. Parama Nirmat Saranam. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj prays in this verse, Kala Prasidatam. May all the envious persons be pacified. The material world is full of envious persons, but if one frees himself of envy, he becomes liberal in his social dealings and can think of others' welfare. So we come into the material world out of envy. Envy is envy of Krishna, really, is what separates us from Krishna and brings us into the material world. And therefore, to really engage in devotional service properly and return to the spiritual world, we have to become free from envy. And fortunately, we have the great personality, Prahlad Maharaj, praying for us. Anyone who takes up Krishna consciousness and engages himself completely in the service of the Lord cleanses his mind of all envy. Manas chabadram bhajatad adhoksaje. Therefore, we should pray to Lord Nrsingadev to sit in our hearts. We should pray, Bahir Nrsimha Hridaye Nrsimha, which we sing every day. Let Lord Nrsingadev sit in the core of my heart, killing all my bad propensities. Let my mind become clean so that I may peacefully worship the Lord and bring peace to the entire world. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given us a very fine purport in this regard. Whenever one offers a prayer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one always requests some benediction from him. Even pure, nishkam devotees pray for some benediction, as instructed by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Shikshastaka. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitanam vaishame bhavam buddho kripaya tava pada pankaja stiti sadrishim vichintaya. O son of Maharaj Nanda, Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from the ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. So this is an example of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, who, while offering a prayer, asked for a benediction. In another prayer, Lord Chaitanya says, Mama janmani janmani shware bhavatad bhaktir ahituki tvai. Life after life, let me have unalloyed love and devotion at your Lordship's lotus feet. In other words, he's not asking even for liberation. He just wants devotional service, life after life. When Prahlad Maharaj chants Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya, he prays for a benediction from the Lord. But because he is also an exalted Vaishnava, he wants nothing for his personal sense gratification. The first desire expressed in his prayer is Svasti Astu Vishvasya. Let there be good fortune throughout the universe. Prahlad Maharaj thus requested the Lord to be merciful to everyone, including his father, a most envious person. According to Chanakya Pandit, there are two kinds of envious living entities. One is a snake, and the other is a man, like Hiranyakashipu, who is by nature envious of everyone, even of his father or son. So when we were struggling to get the Juhu land in Bombay and build the temple for Shri Shri Radharasa Bihari, Srila Prabhupada and the devotees were being attacked by many envious persons. And Srila Prabhupada quoted this saying from Chanakya Pandit, that there are two kinds of envious creatures, a snake and a man. And of the two, an envious man is worse, because a snake can be charmed, but an envious man can never be pacified. So yeah, we faced many envious people in Juhu. They were envious for many reasons, in many ways. But the point is that, and in Juhu, Srila Prabhupada spent a lot of time, and at one stage he spent 3 or 4 months continuously. And during that time, he spoke on the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the teachings of Lord Kapila. And in there, we find the verse, Titikshava Karunika Suridam Sarva Dehinam Agyata Shatrava Shanta Sadhunam Sadhubhushanam, describing the characteristics of a sadhu. And he related it to us. Of course, he was the real sadhu, but out of his generosity to encourage us, he explained the verse as if it were applying to us. And to Tikshava, he was saying that, so many people are attacking us, but what can we do? We have to tolerate. And why Karunika? Out of compassion, out of mercy for the fallen souls. Srila Prabhupada said, I have many other centers. We don't have to stay here in Juhu if people don't like us. But no, we will stay. Why? Karunika, to bestow mercy upon the fallen souls. And, so that's Srila Prabhupada's mood, and that's his mission, and that's the mood he wanted us to have. Okay. So according to Chanakya Pandit, there are two kinds of envious living entities. One is a snake, and the other is the man like Hiranyakashipu, who is by nature envious of everyone, even of his father or son. Hiranyakashipu was envious of his little son Prahlad, but Prahlad Maharaj asked a benediction for the benefit of his father. Hiranyakashipu was very envious of devotees, but Prahlad wished that his father and other demons like him would give up their envious nature by the grace of the Lord and stop harassing the devotees. Kala Prasidatam. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, there are instructions, related to Kanishta Bhaktas, Madhyam Bhaktas, and Uttama Bhaktas. And the Madhyam is advised to make distinctions. Prema, Maitri, Kripupeksha. Prema, he gives his love to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Maitri, he makes friendships with devotees. Kripa, he shows mercy to the innocent by preaching to them. And Upeksha, he neglects the envious. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in commenting on this verse, says that although the devotee neglects the envious in the sense that he doesn't preach to them because they'll just become more offensive, but still he can pray for the envious. And here Prahlad Maharaj is showing the example of that, of praying for the envious. The difficulty is that the kala, envious living entity, is rarely pacified. One kind of kala, the snake, can be pacified simply by mantras or the action of a particular herb. Mantroshadi Visha Sarpa kalakena nivaryate. An envious person, however, cannot be pacified by any means. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj prays that all envious persons may undergo a change of heart and think of the welfare of others. If the Krishna consciousness movement spreads all over the world, and if by the grace of Krishna everyone accepts it, the thinking of envious people will change. Everyone will think of the welfare of others. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj prays, Shivam mito diya. In material activities, everyone is envious of others. But in Krishna consciousness, no one is envious of anyone else. Everyone thinks of the welfare of others. So when I was in Surat with Srila Prabhupada in 1970, 71, I was noticing within myself there was some envy. And I thought about it a lot, and I could understand that the envy was bad for me. It was bad for me as an individual because it disturbed my consciousness. And it was bad for me in my relationships because if I was envious of other devotees, I wouldn't deal with them as nicely as I should. So I was thinking about it deeply, and I could really understand the reasons not to be envious. But still, it wasn't going away. So I approached Srila Prabhupada, and I asked him what to do about envy. And Srila Prabhupada said, can you think of any reasons why you should not be envious? Which I had, and so I said, yes. Then Srila Prabhupada said, all right, being envious means that you don't like someone. So that not liking should not be directed towards devotees, but it should be directed towards demons who are always harassing and making trouble for devotees. So that was a valuable instruction, that if we have to not like someone, we shouldn't not like devotees, but we should not like demons. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj prays, Shivam mito diya. In material activities, everyone is envious of others. But in Krishna consciousness, no one is envious of anyone else. Everyone thinks of the welfare of others. This reminds me, my god sister Janava, she asked Srila Prabhupada that when she chants, should she